Hello, hello. Can you all hear me? Great. I see we got thumbs up. So I'm going to give it a go. Hello, my name is Sequina Luckett. I am a digital strategist and co founder of the Boom app. And welcome to our very, very, very first. This is why I'm excited. But welcome to our very, very, very first pop-up shop, virtual pop-up shop that we have. I have Mildred Hampton Watson here from First Choice Tax Service. She has 30 years of experience, or 33 years of experience in taxes. So I'm considering her an expert because she actually does my taxes. So hey now. But introduce yourself. Let us know about you, Mildred.
Hi, my name is Mildred. I own First Choice Tax Service. I've been a CPA for over 30 years almost, and I decided to go out on my own, and I've been in business for myself over 15 years.
So I just want to say welcome. Thanks for coming on board with us for the first time. And I just had a couple of questions because a couple weeks ago, we did a tax tip, event, which was kind of great, talking about it in our newsletter and also on Instagram. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you guys go and follow us on Instagram and kind of swipe through and get some of the tips. But I want to know, what should people know about their 2020 taxes?
2020 taxes has so many different evidence to it right now. People that took out of their 401k can apply that to the coronavirus and don't have to pay the penalty on it. People that lost their jobs and had more earned income credit last year than this year will qualify for the last year earned income credit and not this year. So that make they refund more. More laws that's been put in place, a shorter form, so that we could try to get the best amount back for you. So that's basically a lot that's new, and that big 1099R is tremendous. It stops a lot of penalties. So that seems to be helping people get more back instead of losing all their money.
Well, I'm glad that the government is finally starting to pay attention to this, especially like this being a pandemic and what's going on with everybody here in the country. So I'm actually glad that they're paying this much attention to kind of give people a break, because we all know that the IRS hardly ever gives us a real true break unless we are one of those one percenters. So are there any surprises that we should be kind of aware of if the IRS might come back and bite us in the butt somehow?
Well, no, it's no surprises. They did not tax the stimulus packages. If you didn't get the stimulus and you tell your tax preparer, it should be something on the in the form that you can pick it up that way, because it's still a lot of people that did not ever get it. You know, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but people that does not file these taxes that's coming up this year will not get a stimulus. They're only going to look at tax returns or people that's on Social Security, like that, or like that, where they can reach them, because it's so difficult. People have moved, bank accounts has closed, this and that. So they're really going to go off of the tax returns. They're really going to find people through that way.
So what about those people who prior to the pandemic that didn't have jobs? Um, how is that going to affect them? So they're not going to get any income taxes, or can they apply still in some way to get something back?
I don't believe so because IRS had a thing online that it for non-filers, it's not there anymore.
Right.
They took it away. So I don't know how they are going to reach those people, period. Without a tax return, without Social Security, without unemployment, without any other type of income anyway, I don't know how they're going to reach it.
So what about, like, are there any things that people should be kind of concerned about, or what should we be doing with our, with our income taxes to be moving forward? Like, is there any kind of tips that you have for us to kind of move forward with our taxes?
I think they need to really and pay attention to the new W-4 that's out. I think they're really reading it wrong and answering it wrong. And then it was a law that most companies decided not to tax you on certain things so you could have more in your paycheck, but it costs you on the end when you get here
Okay.
because it's just not enough taxes being taken out because they never changed the tax rate.
Got it. So, do you think that people should ask for less or more, or anything, like, when they're looking at their new W-4s?
I think when they look at their W-4s, I think people need to pay attention. When your children are of age and your children go get a job, making almost just as much as you, and you still trying to carry them, that should be a red flag. When something changes in your life, you don't never think to go to your job and say, give me a new W-4. I need to take these kids off because they're doing other things and it's gonna cost me on the end because you taking less money. I need you to take more so I won't have to pay the government.
That's a great tip. So, like, if your kids are of age, college students now, they're filing themselves. You're not even filing them anymore. You should literally take them off of your income, your W-4s rather, in order to kind of get the ball rolling, and you can get more money back at the.
Right.
Got it.
Right. I mean, you know, yeah, because the simple fact is, some people are very used to big returns and they so stuck on this big return, but it's not feasible right now. It's not that. You have to watch it and then they time all the children from that amount. We was where you could just put numbers. Now they're making you do timetables on the W-4 and you're not really understanding. All them mean is people, and you like, okay, but I got five. And when you times it and then they take $2 out of your paycheck, you wondering why you owe when you get here.
Right.
Because you timed everybody.
Right.
So you gotta really pay attention to that.
Now, majority of the people that we kind of have like a mix of people here inside the European Black. So the people that are kind of like consumers, and then we have a lot of businesses too. So, is there any business tips that you might have for any of those people?
Now business for business people with LLCs or sole proprietors or whatever they are filing, my main suggestion to them is please keep up with your receipts. Please keep up with your stuff. Don't put it in other people's hands where they say, well, I gave it to them, I thought they filed it, because no, you need to have a track of what your company is doing. It's your company.
Right.
It's your income going out, your income coming in. And to say, well, you go see a person once a year and can figure out what you did all year is crazy. It's just not, it's not liable. You know, you putting it off on somebody else, and then you need somebody else to fix it. I know that you are paying for a service, but this is your company. This is your business.
Right. So
You know,
more than anything, just pay attention to your own funds and the way that you're putting your funds out there. So when you give it to your tax person, your accountant, you can tell them this
they
is
can go right down the list
yeah,
with no problem. You gave them this, they know they had it, but you know, it just seems like they always missing something. They wait to the end to put stuff together. I always said, get you a tote. Stop
right.
putting them in there, or scan your receipts, or do something. Print out your bank statements, highlight them every month. Keep it in order, because it is very hard, and to keep your business in order. I don't care what, they can do it and this and that, but then they still say, do you got that piece of paper?
Right.
Do you have this? Do you have that? So, you become a business owner, you become a bookkeeper too.
That's true. And you give a couple of tips on the app. So if you guys are not following us or have downloaded our app, be sure to download the Boom app, because she gives a lot of tips in her slider, which is great. And one of the tips that you give is when you open your bank account, your business bank account, use your debit card, because the debit card actually gives you kind of a checklist of all the things that you've used. So I think that that's a great tip to actually have for people when
That's a easy the easiest way that I could ever say. When you ride in your car and you use your thing, fill up with the card thing, because you're gonna get a bank statement. It's right there. You didn't have to save a receipt.
right,
It's right there.
right.
But
I think it's
just
amazing. I'm just gonna be real, because I know personally I use my own business account as like my own personal bank statement, so I can literally go through and tell you what I've done from the beginning of the year literally to the end of the year, and can tell you all of the expenses that I've had. And it can be broken down into percentages, which is great, to let me know. In education, I've spent like 35% of the income coming in on just education and learning. So is there anything else that you think that some tips that some business owners should think about?
well, business owners that have employees, the tip that I can say about that, um, everyone wants to make a lot of money. Everybody want to make money, and but you have employees that want to live too, so you have to know how to balance the two, and how to keep, where you make money, but you're not killing your employees to run your business. You know what I'm saying? You have to put the time and the effort into it, and you become all of it. If you become secretary, bookkeeper, this and that, you should be able to do every spot in your business that you telling somebody else to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's a strong business person. I think that's the best business persons, and I think them are the business that's going to survive. I think that small businesses, they got hit very,
Mm.
very hard with this pandemic. But the way to make your business survive is knowing how to run each part of your business. It's your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's how the small business are going to survive.
I agree with you on that, as far as like making sure that they are taking care of their taxes, they're making sure that they're putting their money in the right places and all of
Right.
that stuff. Is there anything any anything else that you think that would benefit just the consumer, like people who kind of need the help with, they're not sure how their taxes go. They just literally give their paperwork to their accountant, their tax person, and then they just walk out the door and hope and wish and pray that they get some extra cash.
I with people like that, I just say I hope that they do that to me all the time.
All the
Just
time, I know
call me.
it.
Just call me. With people like that, I would just say, be aware, especially if you got a great tax person and they trying to explain something to you. Be a be a listener. Be a listener because uh some of them got some tips that I learn stuff every day.
Mm.
I mean, I sit here every day and I say, oh, I didn't know that. And you learn something every day. And they try to give it back to you, but you don't want to accept it, what they are saying, because I just want this, but they try to show you the long version of it, that it might not come right now, but it's gonna come on the end.
Right.
And sometimes you have to stop and listen.
Now,
That's the best I can tell you.
what about that person that was kind of like on the low end of the spectrum, like the bracket, and then they literally leaped to that higher bracket, their higher income bracket? What advice do you have for that person? Do you feel like they should go out and buy something like real estate or anything like that that can help kind of, minimize their funds in some way so that they're not raked by the IRS at the end of the year?
Real estate is one of the best investments that you can make. Um, on one hand. On the other hand, are you willing to do the work on that hand to keep your property up in standards? Land is one of the best, because all you do is go cut it and you get all, I don't want nothing on it. You know what I'm saying? I just want the write off. I don't want to put nothing on it. Land is beautiful, especially out of town, Mississippi, Texas, they got land. I just want to buy land like that. I need that right off. But real estate is wonderful. You can really do something with real estate. You get all the losses for real estate. You get all the taxes. If you got the mortgage, the water bill, the light bill, the what's the name, it's so much. And then you make the profit of it. If you 59 and a half, if you buy real estate, you 59 and a half, you buy for a little bit and then you sell it. You don't have to pay the taxes on the profit. So real estate is one of the best investments that you can make that helps you.
Interesting. Now, I wonder if there's any comments or questions that anybody might have. Let me see if there's any questions. Doesn't look like there are any questions. I'm sure people are going to have some questions inside the group, inside the comments, and when they start asking questions, I'm just going to send them your way. How about that?
That's fine.
I'm going to say, hey, you need to reach out to her and ask her as many questions as you can, because I don't know all the answers. The expertise is not taxes. Even though I've worked in the tax industry, it's still not my forte, and I know it's all yours, especially since you've been doing this for 33 years. I do have one thing. One benefit is that First Choice Tax Service is going to give $35 off of your taxes if you mention the Boom app. So you certainly could call, and her number to call the business is 219-237-6544. You could call in and mention the Boom, and you would get $35 off of your tax return. So that's a plus. for following up and working with us on the boom. That's why we're here. I do have one question for you before I let you go, which does not pertain to the taxes, but I wanted to ask you, what was the reason why you started with the boom? Like, why did you decide to go ahead and get inside the boom with us?
Well, I really like the what you was trying to do with the African American um and an app where I can find things very quickly that I'm interested in instead of going all the way around that I'm not interested in. And it's you're meeting people and you getting more out there, and it's just a wonderful thing. I've never been on baseline of an app before, so I got on the baseline of it to see what it can be and what it can develop to be.
Well, I want to thank you for being a part of the app. I'm excited. I want to thank you for being here today and being one of our first guests on this pop up, this virtual pop up shop. Being a service based business, you and I would just have this like conversation. I'm sure there's going to be some questions. And if there are, like I said, I'm just going to tag you and then you can start answering their questions that way. And if you all have any questions, feel free to type in hashtag replay and then ask your questions so that we know that you're here and that you have a bunch of questions to ask her. You can also reach out, and be sure, if you have not downloaded the app, you could go ahead and download the app. We'll go ahead and put the links in here if you have an Android or Apple phone. And that way we can go ahead and you can click it. You can go right to it, which I'm excited about because we're getting started with that. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. We're in Twitter. We're all over the place. So thank you all today for coming out. Thank you, Mildred Hampton Watson,
You're
for joining
welcome.
us today. And we really appreciate your services and your businesses. And I will talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.
Bye.